Hope this is fine and everybody doing well and enjoying a beautiful day. It is that here in paradise. Going to take the double bound Lindy double bound BG bender with the steel pole 42s made by Lindy Fralin. Great sound pickups. And I haven't played, my hands are really sore and I haven't played in the last couple of days too much and only a little bit today. And I'm going to play a little Texas swing just to kind of get loose and stumble over some stuff. But this is a good practice for people that try to re-engage the instrument to whatever degree that you're trying to leave from one spot, from your last place to your next place. Whenever I leave the guitar for a day or two, I don't pick up at the same level. I take a step backwards. Not that my levels are high to begin with, but I don't take a couple days off and all of a sudden I'm way better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a nice feel, and I like to play to tempo, so I'm going to use the looper to create a nice beat, and then I'm going to play a pattern, a chord pattern, no particular song, just something that has got the flavor of the Texas swing. Then I'm going to come up with some type of melody, nothing that is a song, but it's every song that is a Texas swing song to a degree. The trick will be trying to get the phrasing that I'm hearing here to translate here. These are very stiff and sore. I have just the last couple of days just been doing some other things, and we all get these little times where we just put it down and have to pick it back up. It's kind of like playing ball, you get to warm up a little bit. And the last couple of days I've not been playing, so I'm not loose and physically and mentally. I haven't been thinking too much about music, so a good way to re-engage something. Give yourself a good pattern that has a tempo that you have to play to. And then when you start working on your melody, don't overdo it to begin with. Try to ease yourself into it. So let's try something. That's good right there. And keep in mind, this is practice. You make all the mistakes in the world right now. Who cares? Who cares? Nobody is dying, even live. So, no big deal if there's mistakes. And there'll be mistakes. Real easy melody. Not bad. Something kind of cool about this, and I went to go do something that I more times than not can hit to some degree. This little something like that, and I went to hit it at tempo and I couldn't do it. Didn't even do it too well right there. But here's something that's really cool: the byproduct of mistakes. Sometimes it leads you into a direction of you uncover a treasure. Simply playing all the things that you can, that you know that you can, that you're preparing for. Whether it's licks or phrases, sometimes we get into a musical vocabulary of obviously comfortableness. And one of the things that not picking your guitar up for a day or two is when you go to do it at a level that you typically could have done it and normally would do it. Well, if you're not quite there and you're forcing yourself to go that little extra distance, I'm trying to compensate, and I'm finding other resolves to the phrasing, and I'm making up for my deficiencies. Not perfectly, but it just is a good reminder that there's different ways to approach this instrument, and we always are looking for a comfortable place in our playing with the definition of knowledge that we're about to be able to perform something that we possibly have never played before, or we're wanting to play something we've always played in the past. And I guess the familiarity of always knowing what you're going to do next. I get into these places where what I play is very, very common to me. It's very repetitive, and I'm not saying it doesn't sound good and that I don't enjoy it, but it's these kind of moments right here that you kind of get a new, fresh perspective, even from the deficiencies where you might be dealing with, whether you're stiff or you're just not thinking as much in a musical sense. But this is good practice for you to do by giving yourself a definition of something that you would like to perform, that you possibly more than likely could perform at a level that when you go to try to do it, it's a little bit on the difficult side. Listen, if I were when I played baseball, you simply just don't jump out of the dugout and get on the mound and throw 100 miles an hour on your first pitch. You warm up. So not only does the warm-up give you, this is a defined warm-up. This is immediately throwing myself into the game but trying to ease myself into some manageable phrasing that I could execute. And when I went to do the more difficult stuff, I didn't do it as well. So I kind of backed right back down to where I could get it comfortable. And you end up finding some voicings that you might not have played at a certain time at a certain part of a song. You just, the practice is more here than here. We typically grab something as performers that we like and we want to repeat that like. And I get it. There's a lot of success and great execution of the same stuff, but when are you going to find something new? I'm finding a lot of new because I make a lot of mistakes. So it leads me into different directions, at least in thought process anyway. But anyway, that's an idea for you. It's kind of an oddball idea, maybe. Not to me, it's not. And to maybe some of you, maybe one of you, it makes sense. But think about it. And it's a neat way to practice, especially if you haven't played in the day or five. So hope everybody's doing well. We'll catch you in a bit.